So as a Celtics fan, I am terrified that the defensive drop-off from Al Horford to Enes Kanter is going to be massive, and there's a chance that nothing else on this team really matters. Now, I might love Time Lord just as much as everybody else on Celtics Reddit, but it's the guy's second season, and Vincent Poirier, I don't know, maybe he'll be something, but I just don't think the Celtics are going to be able to recover from the loss of Horford pretty much everywhere, but if we're focusing on defense right now, the guy just did so much. And if that doesn't convince you, well, when I Google Enes Kanter defense, I get this. And then when I do the same thing, but it's Al Horford defense, then this pops up. And as we all know, Google doesn't lie about anything. Now, to talk about the god Brad Stevens, he once had the Celtics fourth in defense with Jared Sullinger and Isaiah Thomas playing a whole lot of minutes. On top of that, they have two of the better defensive perimeter dudes in the league with Marcus Smart and Jaylen Brown. But another fear I have is Semi Ojeleye might be the only guy on this team who can actually defend power forwards, and if you've ever seen Semi Ojeleye play offense, I mean, I think I might be able to do better than him, and that's only kind of a joke. But there's also a lot of good fours in the East between Giannis and Siakam and Horford now on the Sixers, and we have Sabonis who's going to play next to Turner, Blake Griffin is still around, and then you have 7-foot-tall Lauri Markkanen. So Stevens is going to have his work cut out for him defensively. Now, if we can get to Kemba Walker, if we can get to Kemba Walker, aka the one dude who made this offseason at least kind of bearable for me as a Celtics fan, the thing that's going to be the coolest is that I think Kemba's really going to give a crap about being here. Because, look, no disrespect to the Charlotte Hornets, but they were the Charlotte Hornets. The guy's already said that he's looking forward to just being in the limelight, being on national TV. And when you combine that with the way that Stevens has made point guards look good, I think sky's the limit for Kemba Walker this season, I really do. And moving on from that to Jason Tatum, who is sometimes the most beloved player on NBA Twitter, and sometimes he's the most hated. And looking up replies for tweets about him is very entertaining. It's all about the mid-range jumpers. Just please don't shoot them. The talent is there. I know you love Kobe Bryant, and yeah, Kobe's great, but these turnaround jumpers, the pull-ups, and all that, that's what's going to kill Jason Tatum's offensive game and his production, right? Because he's got a golden opportunity this year to just be an awesome player and be the dude who can form a 1-2 punch with Kemba. Now, I have to say this because I mention it in every Celtics thing ever. Morris and Rozier are gone, they shot 20 times a game, blah blah blah. My guy Jaylen Brown, who I just did a video on like a couple days ago. I feel like Bill Simmons with how often I'm doing Celtics things now. Hey, I decided to start the season previews with my favorite team. We got 29 other teams to go here. With Jaylen, to me this season it's about the defense. Have the defense help your offense. I think Jaylen is either going to be in an all-defense conversation or he's actually going to make one of the all-defense teams. The potential is just too damn high for him on that side of the floor. Offensively speaking, here's the blueprint. It's open three-pointers, finishing plays that other guys start. Granted, they're not going to be as easy as this layup, but you know what I mean. And when the time is right, occasionally busting this sort of thing out when you got a mismatch and whatever the hell else. That's all I want from Jaylen Brown this season. Gordon Hayward, besides the obvious things of the health, I think what was intriguing last year was his playmaking. He's kind of like the second best passer on this team with Horford gone now. And I'd like to think that at his worst, he can at least be a solid 4 to 5 assists kind of dude for this team. And yeah, it wouldn't be a max contract player, but at least it's somebody who doesn't suck, which is what he did for a stretch this previous year. But at his best, he could be a dude who can just be a dynamic offensive player where he goes off the dribble, he can also make jump shots. If we're talking about offense, we do still have to mention Enes Kanter. So, for as amazing as Horford was for this team, he grabbed 0 rebounds all 3 years he played for the Celtics. Trust me, I watched every game, I can assure you of this one. Don't bother looking at the stats. Enes Kanter, one of the best rebounders in the league. The dude can also make a mid-range jumper, which is a thing, I guess. And he can post up, which the Celtics don't like to do that often, but if it happens, then it happens. He's also one of the better screen setters in the league, and we saw Damian Lillard profit off of that with a whole bunch of pull-up three-pointers. and mid-range pull-ups and just general effectiveness in the pick and roll. I mean, when you combine a dude like Cantor with such a dynamic offensive point guard, good things can happen. And with how comfortable Kemba Walker is with taking threes off the dribble and with a guy in his face, that all just kind of makes sense to me. As far as all of the rookies, Romeo Langford has a scorer's game. Can he make threes? They're already working with him on that. Grant Williams is saying all the right things and his self-awareness is good. If he can actually play is a different thing. Carson Edwards took 10 threes a game his last year in college, so that's great. He looks like this next to Taco Fall. I don't know if that means anything, but I think it's definitely worth mentioning. You might be asking, why am I not talking about Marcus Smart? That's because I'm going to dedicate the next 2 minutes to Marcus Smart, because what else am I going to do? So, Marcus Smart's last season. They finally gave him an All-Defense award. Deserved it the last few years, but okay, he finally got one. I'm expecting more of the same. Whether it's annoying the hell out of a point guard, a 2, a 3, a center if Stevens needs it, Marcus Smart is down for the cause with this team. I don't know if he's going to start. I guess in terms of shot distribution it would make sense, but I don't know. But speaking of shooting, you might not have noticed this one, and we're going to completely ignore the fact that he shot 9% in the playoffs from out here. It was an injury, whatever. He shot 36% from 3. Marcus Smart. I know, and the world's not ending. Well, actually, it might be ending, but that's for a different video. Is Marcus Smart going to be a floor spacer? No, I don't think so. I think teams are still going to ignore the hell out of him, which might actually be a good thing. Because, I don't know, maybe they're going to start going in more based on this previous season. I also want to talk about Marcus Smart's passing. It's pretty good. It's actually not that amazing. Like, his assist percentage and his turnover percentage are not that far away from each other. But, I've already committed to this bit of talking about one player on, like, each season preview for, like, longer than I really should. So for the Celtics, it's Marcus Smart. So we're going to act like I'm saying really amazing things about his playmaking. It's pretty good. I mean, I think Marcus is this team's Iguodala. The stats don't jump out at you. The impact is definitely there. Anyway, where does this team project to be? They're definitely not as good as the Bucks, and I would say the same thing for the Sixers. After that, there's a whole mess of teams in the Eastern Conference, and I could see the Celtics competing around that area. So I will say somewhere between the 3rd, 4th, and 5th seed, I guess, is where the Celtics end up this season.